You know, this wasn't even supposed to be a Packers rebuild. This was actually a Chargers rebuild, which will probably end up coming out on the weekend now instead. But with the rumors of Devonte Adams, Jair Alexander, and my overall need to vent over the wildcard loss against the Eagles, it felt like a good time. Obviously, I don't need much of an excuse to do a Packers rebuild. We always do a ton of them anyways. But still, like I said, it felt like a good time. Taking a look at this team, I don't want to talk too much about it because I actually did this video a couple times now. Had to redo it because I just yapped, which I'm already doing now. But long story short, wide receivers are young. They need a new guy, right? Too many inconsistencies. There's a lot of injuries. Jaden Reed is the true best receiver of this bunch. Watson, deep threat, really good. Too injury prone. Got to get a new guy. Is that Davante? It will be for this rebuild. I don't know about real life. Running back Jacobs, unbelievable signing. Really good. One of the best backs in the league. Super elusive. Back to his prime self. And just unbelievable. That run against the Eagles was probably the best run I've seen in Green Bay. Not history, but recent history at least. Just so much fun, and it's nice to have a good back there again. One that, of course, can battle through injuries as well. Aaron Jones is solid, but the injury stuff, also a problem for Minnesota for the most part. Offensive line, solid, just not good at run blocking, right? You need a new center for sure. The passing of Creed Humphrey, not like he died, but the fact that they grabbed Josh Myers and then a pick later, Creed Humphrey went to the Chiefs, was devastating. They need a new center. Ryan put in some decent work for them, but they probably need a new right guard as well. Rasheed Walker, serviceable. I'd maybe think about tackle, at least in the later rounds, but definitely not a problem on this team. Of course, Zach Tom, one of the best tackles in the league, actually, just like, that overall is going to reflect it. Tight end, Tucker Kraft, huge glow up. Really good run blocker, really good at breaking tackles and just running through contact, very secure hands, and it's nice to have a true vertical threat guy that isn't, maybe not vertical threat, but, he's obviously a receiving threat since really Jermichael Finley, at least on this team, maybe even that Jared Cook season, which obviously didn't last that long. Jordan Love, generalized accuracy, bad decision-making on first downs, especially deep throwing, and overall, just, risk. Too much risk from him. There's a little bit of Rodgers and Favre there, and it's not the best of either, which is definitely scary to say and think, but he's a top 15 guy near the end of the 15, and he's good enough, needs some help. I just think they need a true elite wide receiver, which is why we're doing the Devonte Adams route. I mean, there's a lot of rumors there, and the money is very expensive, so it's like, if he doesn't restructure, which if Rodgers is going to be gone, why would he want to stay in New York? There is good merit to him coming back to the Packers, which always kind of felt like a possibility. As far as the defense, got to give Hafley some respect because this is a team that, honestly, where are the playmakers? You got McKinney, and that's really it. Rashawn Gary, once upon a time, felt like one. He regressed hard. Kenny Clark, he's always been a little inconsistent. When he's on, he's really solid as a nose tackle, but when he's not, he doesn't look very good. He gets beat easily. But there's not really many playmakers on this defense, yet you got yourself a top 10 defense. I don't know how Hafley did it, but some of those defensive schemes, coverage-wise, they had the Eagles clamped up for the most part, right? They have no pass rush, yet the Eagles are struggling to find openings. So, you look at a defense like this, these corners specifically, it's surprising that they did what they did against the Philadelphia Eagles. I know the score could have been a little bit higher with Saquon at the end there. Probably outruns Nixon, had a little bit of an angle for a touchdown, but even with that touchdown, you take away 7 because of the short field with the fumble, bunch of other turnover stuff. Green Bay realistically gave up, 20 points, realistically, in my opinion, to one of the best offenses in the league. Not bad for a team that has zero base pass rush and pretty bad corners. They need a new linebacker, too, because Quay Walker, let's try him at edge rush. Why not? I don't think I'm going to do it in this rebuild, but in real life, they should. 6'4", 240, give him a chance. Good pass rusher, decent run defender, awful in coverage. Eric Wilson, McDuffie, they're serviceable, but they're not, cornerstone guys. I get it. Most teams don't even have one above average off-ball linebacker, let alone multiple. But it would be nice to improve that a little bit. I like the depth, though. I do like the depth. As far as Edge Cooper, looks like the real deal. Looks like a really good linebacker, by far the best on this team. It baffles me why they didn't play him more. I really don't know what the thought process was there. I just don't understand. But obviously for us, he's going to be the cornerstone guy. Quay's going to be somewhat there, but edge is definitely the guy that's going to be the highest overall by the end of this. Safeties, one of the best groups in the league. McKinney was obviously really good. One of the better free agent classes you've seen in recent history. McKinney and Jacobs both like top 5 at their position, both coming in from the same draft class for the same team here in Green Bay. But yeah, biggest problem in this defense, pass rush, base rush was awful. Once again, Rashawn Gary regressed. Good run defender, terrible pass rush last year. Van Ness is not developed yet. Probably need to look at first round realistically for edge, if not corner. Big mistake going Jordan Morgan. Hopefully he develops. I'm not going to write him off, but right now it seemed like Cooper DeJean was truly the guy they should have went for. Didn't. That might be the route we go for in this one. Edge, corner, wide receiver. Those are going to be the top 3 best available, probably going to be our route. But anyways, the yap is over, and now we can continue with this rebuild. Obviously, losing against the Eagles. Let's see who EA thinks is going to be the Super Bowl winner. We've seen a couple of these now, and it's usually some form of the Ravens-Lions like it is here, which is my prediction of the Super Bowl. Which has gone terribly so far, mind you. I think I'm 2-3 in the wild card round, or like Chiefs something. But yeah, the Ravens and Lions here. Let's see if the Lions win. That was my prediction. Part of me does kind of feel like maybe Lions are going to fall short now, but I don't really like the NFC too much right now. I think Philadelphia offensively through the pass game has been a little too inconsistent, and then of course you have the other teams that are just were never elite teams anyways. Rams are not elite. Commanders aren't elite. You know, they're good. They're just not elite. The Lions are by far the best still in the NFC. And with all those injuries, that scares the hell out of me. They do win the Super Bowl here in a convincing fashion. Let's take a look at the offenses and defenses for those dev-ups. Tucker Kraft goes to superstar. That's impressive. Jacobs always deserves superstar. The fact that he's been star in the game is bonkers dumb. I don't get it. I'm not really sure what the thought process there from EA. Before the season, sure, there was a huge regression point. But after the season, no, that's dumb. Also, Jordan Morgan star dev. In-game, we might be cooking. We might be fine. We might be okay. Need a center still, but that's actually not a bad-looking offensive line, especially for Madden. Tucker Kraft goes to dev, which is great. D-line, Devonte Wyatt goes to superstar. McKinney goes to X-Factor. Expected, not surprised at all. Edge Cooper, superstar dev, huh? Did he win Rookie of the Year? Defensive Rookie of the Year. Has he really had statistics to back that up? I feel like it's going to be one of the corners, no? Oh, no, Jared Verse. What am I thinking? You also realistically could give it to one of the corners because statistics, like base statistics, which honestly it seems like the voters actually do look at, and they don't look at the deeper advanced stats. You could easily argue that it was a really, really weak defensive group, right? Like most of the guys that you would consider Rookie of the Year candidates don't even have like 5 sacks, right? You know, so... a lot of pressure rates, obviously, so those are stats that matter more anyways, but base ratings could see a corner actually win the damn award. There's a couple of Eagles corners in there. Lassiter was obviously really good. There's another name I'm completely forgetting about that it's there. They're there, and I'm just not thinking of them. But either way, let's go to the re-signings. Packers have apparently a lot of money. I really haven't looked at the cap room in a while. I just know there's a lot of receivers coming up that need to get paid. Quay Walker, 5th year. I think you just pay him if you want to pay him. Devonte Wyatt, 5th year. There's no way I'm paying that. And then Stokes, just that rookie year, there was so much promise. All the injuries that followed just kind of killed it. A.J. Dillon, I think Green Bay is still going to give him a chance, believe it or not. I really do. I know Green Bay has a lot of room in the running back spot, but I truly think they will. I don't know, which I don't think they should. I really like A.J. Dillon as a person, just from what I've seen on social media, but as far as like, you know, as a running back, I mean, I just think he falls down and goes backwards way too much for a guy his size, unfortunately. I don't know what happened there, but it's just, that's been a thing. Of course, McManus, he missed that kick, but Green Bay, it was night and day. The kicker issues were solved the moment he joined the team. Daniel Whelan, there's a lot to like there. 4-year 10, why not? Rest, though, I'm thinking you're letting him go. I think we can replace Stokes. Still replace Wyatt because, 27 years old, superstar. Start off as, a 24-year-old rookie. Bo Melton, there's something there, too, but, I mean, yeah, I guess with the committee Packers team, why not? You know, trying to keep this as realistic as possible. I think Isaiah McDuffie, this is where the realism goes away. I think in real life, if they can get him on a 2-year 6, they absolutely do it. But in Madden, I don't see the value there. You know, Slayton, 1-year 3. I'll go realism because I think there's no way that they let him go for 1 year 3 if he's there at that price too. A couple of guys here that I don't see it happening. Josh Myers, I don't see them re-signing. I just don't. But let's go into free agency. See who is there. We got $80 million to work with. So there's an edge rusher. We're paying. I don't care. This team needs edge so badly. Who's here? Trey Smith. Is that a possibility? Is there actually like a realm where Trey Smith's a free agent? Bobby Wagner, always a huge fan of him. Would love to see him join the Packers. The Packers love their run defenders these days, so maybe that's a route we go. Trey Smith, offensive lineman. I mean, Jordan Morgan's been tested all across that line, so there's really not a for sure position to keep him at. Do want to look ahead a little bit just to make sure there's not a name we're forgetting, but we are, like I said, hopefully the title says it, 'cause if not, that means I wasn't able to make the trade. We are going to be going for Davante Adams. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of defensive tackle position talent. We are offering on Paulson, Debo, and Bobby Wagner, though, which we look pretty promising to get because there's no other offers. Trey Smith, don't really remember the last time Green Bay spent big money in free agency on a lineman, but we might be doing that here. I offered a contract that's not going to be the best, but it's competitive. Will he join? He will not. Bobby Wagner on a 1 year 10, Paulson, Debo on a 1 year 9. Don't know if this overall is actually reflectant of how a Debo plays in real life, but apparently there's some injury stuff there, so I mean, I'm fine. But yeah, Bobby Wagner, huge addition. I feel like he's not going to be leaving the kind of couple of teams that he's had. It seems like he's been in like 2 teams forever, but if he does, I would like him on the Packers. Would love to get him 54 as well. All right, now, so this might be, for this video's sake, a situation that I'm gonna have to force a trade. Now, the Jets traded like a 3rd round pick for him midway through the season. I think Green Bay trading a 3rd and a 5th would be absolutely fair to do. So that's probably gonna be the route. I still want to see if there's an avenue where I can legitimately trade for him, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. But realistically, you know, if there's thoughts that Rodgers might not be back, you know, Devonte is probably going to want out again, which I know it's kind of like you're defending a guy. Where the hell did Watson go, by the way? Where's Christian Watson? He's just gone. He's dead, unless you just can't put him on the trade block because he's still injured. But, yeah, I think there's going to be a good chance Devonte wants out. Him going to the Packers is actually pretty damn realistic, I got to say, especially with what he said. That was like the most, like, okay, trade for me, please, I've ever seen. Like, I've really not seen it much more blatantly obvious than that, I'm going to be real. And the reason why I'm asking for Christian Watson here is because I was actually going to give him a 3rd with Watson, which I think is easily fair. So I'm going to give him the 3rd round pick now, and then I'm going to try to find Watson. I don't know where the hell he is. Okay, so it is a situation where I can't trade him because he's got a torn ACL. I'm going to be trading him over to the Jets when I can trade him, though. It sucks, 78 overall star dev, but I just think at this point, like, Green Bay's got to get a proven talent, and if it takes Watson in a 3rd round to get it, I would do it. The problem with Devonte Adams is really, where the hell, oh yeah, he's a punter because I had to trade him, is that contract. I think also this is where Devonte Adams would clearly be in for a restructure. So yes, I mean, cry all you want about, oh, you're cheating, whatever. This is a, like, realism type rebuild where you can't really get that without a restructure. I think an 89 overall X Factor not getting paid as the highest receiver in the world makes a lot of sense. I think $25 million per year is still a lot of money. Wait, no, that's not even 25. I messed that up. I got to do a fresh contract. I really honestly think he's even less than that, especially if he's going to be really serious about trying to win a ring before he retires. I think $22 million per, even then, might be a little much, but I think $22 million, that is his number right now. Number 0 also looks cool as hell, but let's see if we can get 17. Obviously, McManus, new to the team. There's no reason why he wouldn't give up 17, I think. I don't even know if he has any ties at all to number 17, does he? But yeah, we'll remember to give Christian Watson up to the Jets, which makes it a 3rd and Watson, which I think is ridiculous of an overpay, obviously. But I want Devonte Adams. I think the realistic route is Devonte Adams could get traded for even less than that because of that contract if he decides not to restructure, maybe plays the Rodgers leverage if Rodgers is still there. Yeah, that's going to be the route we go. The Lions get Trey Smith. Okay, that's fun. But yeah, Davante Adams, Paulson Adebo, and Bobby Wagner make up for an already pretty decent free agent group. All right, we have pick 22. I'm not even sure if that's actually accurate. It sounds about right, but I'm going to take a look just to be sure. I don't care that much, but I'm curious. So Green Bay actually has 23. I'm so glad that I looked that up. But let's take a look, see what the Titans do. Been a lot of cornerback stuff at number 1. Travis Hunter, that's actually what we drafted for our most recent Browns rebuild. The Giants going edge, probably not their biggest priority. The Raiders would be loving life at 4 with a quarterback. I don't know about the choice, but Will Campbell to the Patriots would be a steal. Pierce to the Jaguars. I don't know if that's their number 1 need, but that's not a bad pick, I suppose. The Saints wide receiver, they could use wide receiver, but they need a lot more than that. And I'm going to stop narrating every single pick now. Carter at 9 of the Bears would be a theft. That shouldn't even be legal. The Jets with Sanders is interesting. McMillan to the Niners is a huge pick. Don't think they need him. Genty to the Cowboys would make a little more sense. It's been the most commonly placed player for a while now. They end up going corner instead, which they do need, so I get it. We're now at 16 with the Falcons taking defensive tackle. We could use defensive tackle ourselves. Let's take a look at the updated board. Edge is a problem, but it's weird because like Rashawn Gary's ceiling seems to be reached. Like Walter Nolan, dude. I could use a defensive tackle so bad. I might actually trade up for Walter Nolan here. I don't know if we can afford the trade up, though, without a third-round pick. I don't know what kind of value we bring, but let's try. But what do you do at edge? Like, the Green Bay Packers need edge, but in Madden, you could absolutely work with Lucas Van Ness, and then Gary can't really progress too much, so it's like, do you replace Gary outright? I don't know. I'm really not sure, but what I can tell you for sure is if we make this trade, we basically have one more pick left, which, I mean, right now, thinking about what the team needs with the free agency we had, that's really all we need is DT. So if we can pull that trade off, it might be worth it. All right, we made the trade up. We went one more pick because we just didn't have the value. Sean Ryan, a first and a fourth-round pick for the Seahawks. Pick 18. Don't know if Green Bay would be really willing to trade up at this spot, but I am interested. I also want to pay attention across the board to see if there's anyone else there. But Nolan looks good. Scorton also looks really solid too, though. I think this is going against what Green Bay needs to do in real life, even though I wouldn't hate them improving the interior of the line. I think, once again, edge, corner, wide receiver. But I will say Adebo on paper in Madden, that's a serviceable guy next to Jair. Devonte, obviously, is a true number 1 wide receiver. So other than edge, you do have a little bit of freedom now. And I think Walter Nolan is a new guy, haven't taken him before, is going to be my choice. Walter Nolan, pick 18, should be hidden dev, 28 true, 91 strength, solid player. I like it. I like the pick a lot, and he'll be sitting next to Kenny Clark. I do worry about long-term on this team, though. A lot of the guys on this team are in that 26, 27 range, which you can't really improve from that spot too much. But with this pick, now I'm not really sure what I want to do. It might be more best available situation. Hampton being there is kind of crazy. Yeah, cornerback. Maybe you do go corner after all. Could definitely use a center. Kreutz might be our guy. I'm liking the availability here. There's some pretty good players still left over. Trying to think about what I want to do here, though. DT, we kind of filled that. Dennis Sutton, edge. Maybe that's a route we want to go. Off-ball linebacker, Bobby Wagner's good for a season. I think I might go corner. If I'm not trading down, I'm taking one of these two, Everett or Davis. I think both of them are not the fastest of the bunch, but I can live with Davis as a 6'4". Is he 21? 21-year-old long-term. I can't remember what his dev was, though, is the problem. Takario Davis. Although, ironically enough, I'm pretty sure Everett and Davis aren't even declaring for the draft, so I don't know what to do with that. Oh, Lord. And if Monheim was hidden dev, I would like him, but he's normal dev. At 23 years old, why would I take a normal dev guy I can guarantee is that dev? Do you go Dennis Sutton, 21 years old? I wouldn't hate Dennis Sutton here. Not maybe a guy that teams are that high on at this moment, but comparing him in Madden at least, he has the ratings of a late second. You know what? I'm going to trade down. I don't like any of these picks right now. I'm not feeling it anymore. You know what? The Rams give me a second and third next year with a bunch of other extra picks. I think is actually speaking to me here. I know you're thinking, oh, Green Bay should be playing for now, trying to win now with a bit of a window, but I'm also just not liking the availability in the draft here at all. And we used the leverage of Devonte Wyatt being a superstar to trade to the Raiders. A third next year in Devonte Wyatt for a third this year. I think in real life, I don't think the Packers trade Devonte Wyatt, but once again, we're talking about Madden. We got to do a little bit of real life. We got to do a little bit of Madden. You kind of have to put those together a little bit because realistically, you can't just keep a player that might be okay in Madden, but it's not rated super well in game, right? That's just kind of how it goes. It's just unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. A 27-year-old, 75 overall means nothing. It's just unfortunate. It just means nothing. He's got potential in real life still. Pass rush wasn't bad. But in game, it just doesn't matter, right? But with this pick, we're going to go with Jalen Husky. Solid-looking corner, maybe long-term. Going to be in the slot for us this season, I think. 45 true, normal dev, but at 6'1", 91, 92 speed, 92 excel, 92 change direction, 92 agility. I like the potential there. Super young. Maybe he gets a dev up from getting picks in the slot. I see a lot of picks in the slot. Maybe. Who knows? But with this pick, we're going to be trading up with the Titans, grab a center, and say that we had a pretty decent offseason, I think. We trade 2 6 this year and a 6 next year with our late 5th for a high 4th, which is going to likely be Kreutz, the center. It is Josh Kreutz, one of the guys we know for a fact is hidden dev. Everyone else that we really didn't know much about. Not that there's really much of a everyone else anyways. We traded the bulk of our picks for Devonte Adams and 2 and 3 round next year. I don't know what that means, 2 and 3 rounds, but a 2nd and 3rd next year, which of course we already used that 3rd round pick to get back up for the cornerback. What do we want to do here? Jimmy Horn, decently fast wide receiver, 5'9". I don't even know if he's like, an eligible player or whatnot, but probably just going to be a backup anyways, just a random pick, just to add a guy to the list. We're going to go with Khalil Mullins, not a fast guy, but a power back. Really late 7th, 191 true. I mean, we'll see what we got there. Probably nothing, but get some depth at the running back room. Didn't really keep any of the extra running backs as is, so kind of need to do that. Look at the team, 5 draft picks, a defensive tackle, a corner, a center, a wide receiver, and a running back. Really disappointed to not get an edge rusher. They definitely need to do it in real life, but once again, we're playing a little bit of realism here, or Madden realism, where I just don't have a spot, right? Lucas Van Ness can develop, even in real life, to be fair, but in game, I'd be looking at a 74 to 76 overall rookie anyways, at best. I think Nolan was the best prize for the team going forward. Kind of raw, I got to be honest, 73, but see what that dev is. Maybe superstar, probably not though. Kind of seen as an interesting number, but kind of seen as a late 1st round pick. Jalen Husky, normal dev, 73 overall, 75 man, 73 zone, decent corner. Cornerback room is obviously really improved. Kreutz the center, we've already seen him a million times, and Mullins I'm kind of curious about, 67 overall, a power back. Kind of another A.J. Dillon. We're also in free agency going to be adding Yannick Ngakoue. Mr. Yannick Ngakoue. Is he even playing anymore? I feel like he was good for like every single team he's ever been on. And I just didn't hear anything about him this year. And I still can't trade Watson, huh? Like I got pre-existing injuries on, but like these injuries should be like solved by now. Watson still got 2 weeks in his injury recovery. We'll obviously trade it when we get a chance. But man, this is taking a long time. Sean Clifford, kind of a practice squad guy. I can't put him on the practice squad for some reason, so we're just going to have to release him? Release. McGoo and release. I think there's also a chance in the offseason that Malik Willis maybe requests a trade or, requests something because, I mean, there's got to be a team out there willing to give him a chance, honestly. He's shown a decent bit this year. I feel like that overall is really low for him. I mean, Green Bay might be able to get a decent trade off of him, so if that's the case, might get some value, but here, not going to see it. We trade Christian Watson off, and I think getting a 5th round pick, which you could argue was a 6th round pick at the time, back through that trade is fair. I think, a 3rd round pick and Christian Watson for Devonte Adams and a 6th round pick, because that's technically what it would be, I think is fair, and that's what we do. All right, have we done enough? 85 overall, you've got Devonte Adams back in the starting lineup. Jaden Reed at 2, Dobbs at 3. I know technically Reed should be in the slot, but I want Reed to develop a little bit more than Dobbs. I'll be real with you. Running back Jacobs, obviously solid for the next 2, maybe 3 seasons if we're lucky. Jordan Love, hopefully he gets a superstar. Dev, offensive line is actually really young still outside of Elton Jenkins. I will say I'm curious to see what's going to happen with him because contractually, they almost always lose Elton Jenkins in sim to free agency, so I'm curious to see what happens there. Of course, tight end, all that stuff is good. Defensively, Bobby Wagner will need to be replaced. Adebo arguably needs to be replaced, but might already have the replacement with Husky. Defensive line still needs work, right? DT1 is probably going to be replaced at some point. Left end needs to be replaced, and then Van Ness. We'll see what happens. He's 24 years old now. I'm not a huge fan of the progression here, but still good enough. I just didn't really feel like we needed to draft someone in Madden. But yeah, in real life, Green Bay definitely needs to add somebody in the first 2, maybe 3 rounds on the edge. Romeo Dobbs has superstar dev trait now. Okay, I'm down. Team's having a pretty good start. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh no. So the team is broke. And that's with a manual restructure of Devonte Adams, mind you. Zach Tom might take up all this money. Ooh, this is tough. Because you don't want to lose Romeo Dobbs. He's a superstar now. Quay, I suppose I can let go. Walker, I can replace. Adebo, I can replace, I suppose. But yeah, I don't want to lose Zach Tom. He is the best lineman on this entire team. I got to pay Zach Tom. I have no choice. $7 million left to somehow pay Romeo Dobbs, Rasheed Walker, Paulson Adebo, Quay Walker, and some backups. I don't see that being the case. I really don't think that's going to happen. So, as you usually see Romeo Dobbs hitting free agency, even as a superstar here, he might be doing it again. That's crazy to trade a superstar 25-year-old who's having his career year. Man. We'll see if we can make it happen at the end of the year or something like that, but I am not liking our odds. Or do you even see Davante Adams, just like with the Jets, a 1-year guy? Maybe release him or something and, go from there, perhaps? I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what the regression of D. Adams is like. The Vikings are having a terrible year, let me tell you that. But we are not. We are in the playoffs. Let's see what we can actually accomplish, though. Once again, looking at a potential release of Devonte Adams after trading Watson and a 3rd-round pick for him. And we might be thinking about releasing him because do you bet on a guy regressing or do you bet on a guy progressing, So we'll see what Devontae's regression point is like. I'd like to do more than a season with him if we could. Feel really like a waste, but looking at the numbers, Jordan Love, I would love a season from him like that. Definitely capable of doing it, especially with the 12 picks. Jacobs, amazing season yet again. Reed should go to superstar with those touchdowns. Devonte was solid. Romeo Dobbs as just like a guy that really didn't even get that many catches. Look at that, 14.1 yards per catch is really good. Tucker Kraft, 480 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not really the best for a tight end. Elton Jenkins has a chance to go to superstar, which would be clutch. Pass rush, Rashawn Gary gets back to his elite status, 13.5 sacks. Wonder what kind of progression he got there. If he's even an 84 overall, that would be a huge dub in my opinion. DTs, especially Nolan, because I was expecting so much from him. I know the tackles for a loss are decent, was not good. Kenny Clark is one of the worst defensive tackle seasons I've ever seen in Sim. Lucas Van Ness, just terrible numbers. He's going to be 25 years old, and he's not even an 80 overall. Adebo with 4 picks is nice. McManus was apparently solid again. Whelan was solid. Kick return, punt return game, you almost never see touchdowns for. We now move on to the awards, where Mahomes wins MVP. Anything for us? Reed was number 2 for Offensive Player of the Year, so obviously going to be best wide receiver. No Defensive Player of the Year. Any rookie awards? No. Love was the second best QB, hoping for a dev up there. Should get one. Jacobs was running back 1. Of course, Jaden Reed was wide receiver 1. Elton Jenkins, O-line 1. That's a superstar dev, like we said. Gary at number 4. Linebacker, no. DB at number 10. Kicker at number 5. Not a bad year. Actually, a pretty damn good year. And once again, one that has us in the playoffs again, going against the 9-8 Arizona Cardinals. We have them beat by 7 overalls. Going to the end of the game, let's see what we're looking like. 7-0. Cardinals get themselves 7. We get 3. Bit of a turnover situation there. Huge run by Jacobs for a touchdown. 24-7 into the fourth quarter, up by 10. Cardinals are not done yet. It's a 4-point game. Arizona is still in this one, but the defense is going to hold on just enough. And the Packers are going to be moving on to the divisional round. Completion percentage for Love was pretty good. This is a good playoff game. I mean, he threw a pick, but 2 touchdowns, 258 for yards. Really accurate, solid stuff there. Jacobs, huge run, beautiful stuff. Michael Wilson, the best receiver on both teams on the day. Devonte Adams, 74 yards. Reed, 86 with a touchdown. Pretty good numbers. Tucker Kraft had a touchdown in there, I believe. Sacks, 1 for Kenny Clark. Picks, 1 for Adebo, 1 for Zaven Collins. And we end up winning, moving on, another run. And Green Bay's kryptonite is rolling into town. The San Francisco 49ers, you might as well just wrap it up already. All right, going to the end of the game. Let's see, it's 7-0, not a bad start. The Niners do score 7 themselves. We get 3, almost like an identical game to last week. 10-10 right now. We get a field goal. It's 13-10. A lot of these kind of games against San Fran lately. 10 minutes left, down 1, driving in position, 4th and 1. I would have went for it. Green Bay's been pretty consistently conservative in those spots. They do get the stop, so if they can sustain a drive, the field goal was a good decision. But as you can see here, the Niners have a chance, and they will not get past this defense. Green Bay's defense so far has been really, really good. 19-17, kind of a low-scoring affair, of course. No real crazy yardage. Davante over 100. Really clutched up there. Walker gave up 2 sacks, so not mad to replace him. Van Ness with a sack. No interceptions. Clean kicking from McManus. 4 for 4. What a guy. Still can't believe he missed that one in the wild card round, but still just like a bright spot on that special teams. Championship round for the Packers. They're back in it. It's been a while. Kind of memed. Oh, my Lord. Here's the Eagles. Revenge chance. I don't know if I feel great about it. First game, we're on the road. But yeah, as I was going to say, a team that, constantly was memed, can't get past the championship round. I miss those days. I just want to get back there again, please. 10-7, the Eagles are looking strong. Huge drive that might be, when it's all said and done, enough to win it for them. Finally, we get a touchdown drive again. We're down 3. Defense makes the stop. Offense with a drive could take the lead. Won't do so. They're going to have to punt the ball. They need a defensive stand. Philadelphia is dog walking them right now, and they will get a chance. 2 timeouts left, under 2 minutes to play. Green Bay's offense is literally going backwards. I mean, I'm not really feeling great about it, but I suppose with this much on the line, even though it's early, I would like to at least try and come in and make a play. Devonte Adams out there. Oh, boy, do I miss that. Maybe you go with the curl route just to set this up. Davante catches it, slips off the tackle, and makes it a very manageable 4th and 2. Jacobs is a very good player, but I also don't trust Green Bay's running enough to put it on him in this situation. Tucker Kraft, and he drops it. Wow, I know it was a late read. Kind of thought he was going to be last case scenario, but he's got to catch that ball. That just a possession type catch too, and he drops that. That's unacceptable. That's just simply unacceptable. So looking across here, Reed, he gets in the way a little bit. That's another situation where even if I throw it here, guy has a chance to knock it out. Davante's covered. Jacobs is covered. That slant, if I throw it here, maybe that's tough. Zach Bond is in a great position here. Nakobe Dean, whoever the hell it is. It is Bond. And I felt like the only guy I can guarantee it hits the hands for is Kraft, and he drops it. Regardless, though, a hell of a year 1. We performed well, got to the championship round. Lost by 6 against the Eagles, unfortunately, but not bad, obviously. Jordan Love arguably played better than Jalen Hurts here. Running, Barkley had a bit better success. Defensive difference, I suppose. Dobbs with a touchdown, 71 yards. Pass rush, Nolan had a great game. Wow, the DTs killed it. 6 sacks from the DT spot is unbelievable. Perfect kicking, no turnovers, just, defensive battle that the Eagles were a little bit better equipped for. The Eagles win the Super Bowl, so, we lost to the Super Bowl winning team that won by 3 touchdowns, and we only lost by 6. So, it's got to tell me that we're somewhat there, right? Devonte does not regress as hard as I was hoping for to feel like, hey, we should get rid of him for Romeo Dobbs. Josh Jacobs goes to X Factor, which is awesome, but also worrying because he's only he's 28 now. That regression is going to be tough. Jordan Love goes to Superstar. Jaden Reed goes to Superstar. Obviously, we expected both of these, but just in case you didn't believe it, yeah, pretty obvious. Touchdowns are crazy for Reed. Touchdown pick ratio in general, and obviously the yards from Jordan Love were great. Ellen Jenkins, superstar dev, pretty clutch actually. Don't really see him go to superstar super often, so that's a win. Then we move on to the defensive side of the ball, where we see no dev ups at all. Nothing. Bobby Wagner retires on us as well. I don't think that affects how much money we have, though, unfortunately. I think no matter what, we are still screwed. But let's see. Let's see what kind of money we have to re-sign some players. Says 30 mil. I mean, what do you got to spend? Like, at most 20 of that if you're lucky. So let's see what we got with these re-signings. What can we do? A Debo. I like a Debo. I think we can just start Husky, though. Walker's not bad, but he didn't have a good season. And, of course, we have Quay Walker. And speaking of another Walker, I think we can do better than Walker. Romeo Doubs, though. It's going to be tough. 26 years old, 82 overall. He went up, what, 3 overalls in a season? Superstar midway through, so you can argue he gets to an 85, 86 by the end of the year, but his ceiling's probably 88, 89. I don't hate it. If I can do a 3 or 45, I'll do it, but if not, he's a free agent. Yeah, there you go. See you later. There you go. We'll just look for someone else, I guess. Lucas Van Ness, 5th year. I don't think so. I think we're going to be moving on. I don't hate the overall at 77, but 25 years old. We're looking at edge, I think. I think we're looking for someone new. Obviously opens the door for Quay. Opens the door for a Debo. Opens the door for Walker. I mean, I don't hate another 1 year 9 for a Debo. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take that. $21 million. Quay Walker, I mean, what is Quay's numbers even looking like? Because obviously he's good block shed, but coverage isn't going to be very good. A lot of tackles, but I mean, who can't do what Quay's doing here for us? You know? I mean, how much is this? 11? It's not bad, but I think we can do just as good, if not better, on a rookie. The problem is I need 2 of them now, you know, and I need a new wide receiver, and I need a new, you know, edge rusher and this and that. I mean, I'm willing to do a 2 year of 24, I think. There you go. That's a little bit better. We're not locked in forever. Need a new left tackle. Arguably need a new wide receiver. Need a new edge. Still need a new linebacker. It's not that bad. We have 15 million left. Away would be a decent edge rusher. I don't really like the ceiling there either. I imagine in a 3-4, we're not going to see very good numbers regardless. Ooh, 10 and a half. It's not terrible, actually. Actually pretty damn good. I don't know. I still think I can do better for cheaper. Maybe not better, but like long-term better. Invest in the draft instead. Some decent players here, but outside of, you know, trying to get Romeo Doubs or Rasheed Walker back, I don't think I want to spend any of my money. All right, we have pick 29 because we had a pretty good run, but we do have that extra second-round pick, so we could make a trade-up if we need to. 2 to 3. Wanted to look at this wide receiver because he's 6'9". Didn't work out, though, as he's 2 to 3. Like I said, probably not going to go that route. Wide receiver, not really a problem right now, but next year will be, so we can just invest high next year. Dalton Ellis, you know, he's a defensive tackle type. Still, Kenny Clark didn't really have a good year. Not the best overall right now. Looking at edge, we've got Garfield, we got Sanchez, we got Ware. The hope would be that Ware would be last there. He's around 1. But yeah, we've got a lot of different players. Not the fastest, but I'm willing to take them. Got a lot of different edge rushers, but they're all really high. So it's like, I don't know if we're going to have a chance at any of these guys, but we'll slow roll it. And if anyone's there by maybe 15, we'll weigh our options. As McLaughlin, who is like a round 1 projected, goes 2 overall. Ware goes number 4 overall. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting edge this draft. Like, I'm not really sure what they want me to do with edge. I think there is still 2 players, though, so if we're lucky, maybe. Maybe if they keep falling a little bit, but I don't like our odds. That's all I'll say about that. All right, so Grant Garfield is the last remaining kind of edge rusher. Doesn't look the best, but he's decent. He's a good block-shedding type. I mean, at this point, we're really desperate for edge, and he's like literally the only option we have outside of Burris later on. So, I mean, I'm going to try to trade up with the Seahawks. I'm not a huge fan of this situation, but we'll see what we can do. All right, we traded a couple of players with a draft pick set. We traded 29 this, 125 this. Lucas Van Ness, Jacob Muck, and Keyshawn Nixon to the Seahawks for 15. Obviously, Lucas Van Ness, the kind of bulk of the player trades there. I don't know how good this edge rusher is going to be, but what I can tell you is Lucas Van Ness did not play well, and his ceiling isn't great. Garfield's 21 years old. If I get even a star dev here, he's going to have a better outlook after year 1, let alone after 4 years like Lucas. So here we go, or 3 years. Garfield, 45 true. Hidden dev, there you go. That's a good pick. That's fair enough. But yeah, in general, this was a really thin class. Like, it just was not very good. But yeah, we'll see what we can do in the second round now. A couple of offensive linemen, obviously. You always got that going for yourselves, but that's pretty much that. Linebacker, need a linebacker. Zimmerman's the last one there. I'm not even a huge fan, but what choice do I have? Deontay Zimmerman. There's just no one else. It was a weak class. Normal dev as well. Lovely. And then with the late second round pick, we're going to go with Jonathan Moss to play tackle for us. 6'5", 315. I like the size. 23 true. Hidden development traits. There you go. Replace Rasheed Walker with another Rasheed Walker. Then I was thinking about going with Orlando Burris, the DN. I don't think I'm going to go with him after all. I'm going to end up going with one more lineman, I think. Josh Flynn actually looked really solid. So 22-year-old 6'4", Josh Flynn. Don't know where he'll play, but we'll have somewhere in the future for him. Hidden dev, there you go. Good pick. As we now have our only next pick, or one of our only next picks, all the way in the late 5th. And with that late 5th, we'll go with a semi-fast wide receiver, Morris Dennard. 95 true, normal dev. I don't know why when that flipped I was expecting hidden, but not going to get it. This pick, yeah, I would love to have taken another linebacker. The linebacker we got was not the best, but not really looking like it's going to be the case. Somewhat fast Cole Ware. I'm expecting 90 speed here. 96 true talent, normal dev, 91 speed. Fair enough. And then in the 6th, if that edge rusher's there, I'll take him. If not, I might be looking for a trade down. He is Anthony Wiggins. He's okay in athleticism, B power move. Maybe we find ourselves a gem. Maybe not as well. All right, let's take a look at the draft. Yeah, I was expecting some low overalls, but, there's still potential there. Obviously, Moss, the new left tackle. Garfield, the new right end. I wish he was a finesse type, but yeah, that's really good. 77 power move, 78 block shed. Can we also get some dev? Anyone minding like a superstar maybe? That's all I'm down, dude. I appreciate it. This team needs edge. We got edge. It was a little late, about a year late, but I'm down with that. Of course, Zimmerman, insanely raw. I knew he was going to be, but I had no options. I needed to either draft him or go with some veteran that has zero chance to develop. Then we have Jonathan Moss. See how good he is. He's going to be our new left tackle. Very good pass blocker. That's what Green Bay wants, is the type of player that Green Bay would be drafted in the damn first round. Dev, also superstar. I'll take it. Our two biggest positional needs, you argue that edge wasn't, but we created the need with the trade up, and we land 2 superstars. Also, these guys aren't terrible, but they're not starters right now, so it doesn't really matter. Let's take a look at some of those edge rushers that we quote-unquote missed on. I wouldn't really say we missed on them because we would have had to trade up to get them. McLaughlin, 79 speed, really good finesse move. It's going to be really hard to beat our guy because our guy was actually not too bad for athleticism, very balanced. Our guy's better than this guy by a mile. That's a great start. Where was one of the guys we were hoping would have fell? Normal dev. Our guy's better by a mile. Awesome. Anyone else want to go toe-to-toe with our fella? Sanchez, let's take a look. One pick before us. Better than him by a mile. What are the actual odds that we land the best player and he was the last on the board? That's just wild. We'll take it. Here we go for Season 2. The team's looking pretty good. A wide receiver, I'm still kind of lackluster on. I'm not a huge fan of it, but worried about the contracts, right? Jaden Reed, 26 years old now, needs a contract. Devonte Adams, more than likely gone, so we're going to be drafted wide receiver first round, absolutely without a doubt. O-line, we fixed up a little bit. The center's solid. Left tackle's solid. It'll be 2 superstars on the left side of the line. Tight end, Tucker Kraft. Wish he would be developing a little bit quicker. 25 years old, but he's getting there, I guess. Not really having the best of seasons in this scheme. We move on to the defensive side of the ball where we got a new left outside linebacker and then a brand new right end. The season, the team long-term, there's a more potential, but we are arguably a worse team than last year. Arguably. Less depth at different positions as well, but I'm still feeling pretty confident. We got to the championship round. Why can't we do it again? $90 million. There's going to be some names in here. Jair, going to try to keep him. Jaden Reed, definitely going to try to keep him, even though it's $20 million per. Tucker Kraft, I like the price. Adebo, I think it might be time to let him go. We'll see. Jenkins could be a cap casualty. Davante is definitely gone. Wicks, not a bad number 3. I don't know if we can develop him as a number 2, though. But I think we can manage here. We have Jordan Morgan, but I think that's going to be a guy that maybe gets, cap casualtied as well, if you will. But Jair Alexander, even though in real life the future is uncertain, even though he's got a 2-year contract, we'll give him another 2 years. Jaden Reed, I don't want to do more than 3 because he'll be 29 at that point. Maybe I should have done more than 3. Whatever, it's over now. Do a 4-year deal on Tucker Kraft for $46 million. Nice, he takes it. About 11.5 per, I think that is. A Debo, I'm not 100% sure with. Jenkins, though, the price actually isn't that bad after all. So we'll do come on, why you got to do that, man? But let's see, we'll do a 1-year deal there. Wicks, if he does a 2-year 13, I'll do that. I'll do a 2-year 13. Maybe I'll do a 2-year 14. That's kind of where my max is. A Debo, I mean, he's basically been taking 1-year 9s. This time around, he might not take it, though. So we'll see. Up against it if we decide to keep everyone. Musgrave just never developed. But yeah, we can handle it. We can handle it. And McManus, I think, the regression's going to be there. Probably, so we might just go with a rookie. Hey, another free dev up. Of course, last time we got a free dev up, we let the player walk. Rashawn Gary has X Factor. To the playoffs, I think Ellen Jenkins might be a free agent. I'm not going to lie. Wicks, we re-signed 2-year 14. It's a little expensive, but I like the slot from him. 12-5 bye week. That is wild. The reason why I'm going to say that's wild is we started this season off. Look at Jacobs cooking at 4-4. I mean, what a run we had. 4-4, and then just we lost 1 game for the rest of the season. That's really impressive. I'm surprised that we actually pulled that off. Let's take a look at our numbers. Jordan Love, 49 touchdowns, 10 picks, 4,300 yards. Could be MVP with that. Jacobs, 19 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. That's awesome. Reed's an X factor. Adams was great. Wicks was solid. Tucker Kraft, really not worth the money, to be honest, but he is a good player. This is why, I don't really prioritize tight end too much because it's all scheme related. Offensive line, got a couple of decent seasons in there. Not the best in the rookie Moss, but I mean, look at Zach Tom, gave up 7 from the right tackle spot, as a way better player, so kind of expected. Gary, another really good season. Nolan, better. Garfield, pretty good for a rookie, and then Clark, he's been awful this entire time. Jair, really good picks. Adebo with 3. We signed him back to a 1-year 9.5. McManus missing 3 out of 13. Probably going to let him go. And then Daniel Whelan, what a season. Yearly awards, MVP does go to Jordan Love. Wow. Okay, impressive. Did not win Coach of the Year, number 5. That's pretty far down there. Offensive Player of the Year, number 2 is Jaden Reed. Jacobs at 7 and Love at 9. Best Defensive Player, no. Best Offensive Rookie, 7. Best Defensive Rookie, 3 and 4. Bit disappointing, can't lie. Quarterback goes to Jordan Love. Running back goes to Jacobs. Wide receiver goes to St. Brown, but Reed at number 2, so that's Pro Bowl with Adams at number 8. O-line at number 2 and 3, that would have been clutch, because I'm thinking Flynn might be our left guard next season. Really disappointed there, but Morgan at 8. Could still get it, though. I've seen the number 2 get DevOps as well for best O-line. Gary at number 8. Linebacker, no. DB should be on the list. Number 4 for Jair. Kicking at not on the list. Bye week to go for it. So championship round into a bye week. Damn near a championship round. You got to just win 1 game. So let's see if we can get even further. The Saints, 8-9, barely even in the playoffs. I'm not even sure how they're here, but they won a game. They have a freaking X-Factor quarterback, but also a superstar kicker. What is going on? Going to the end of the game, let's see it. 3-0. I got to say, if this is to emulate life, the Packers absolutely should be going for Devonte Adams, because this team has absolutely exceeded real life. That's for sure. 23-13, 30-13, and it really does just seem like this team is missing that one true elite wide receiver weapon. I know there's a couple of other options and a couple of other issues on the team, like we said, pass rush, cornerback. But going to Debo, going Davante, seemingly very good for this team, I'll be honest. Adebo with a pick as well. I like those moves. Those moves are nice. And I am like the ultimate making up scenarios that don't exist, because like almost nobody, like within the last year, there's maybe been 2, maybe 3 people that are like mad at a quote unquote cheating, if you will. Like the Davante move we did is technically, if you want to call it cheating, but it's more like a scenario rebuild as we're facing off against the Seahawks. Not a great record against that NFC West, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, there's really, everything's pretty damn straightforward, pretty fair. So, it's all doable. It's all doable for Green Bay. Like I said, I mean, realistically, the only cheating we did is we cheated ourselves. If the Jets are willing to move on from Davante, which, I mean, it seems like the player these days almost decides more than anyone for the most part, and Davante wants to move on and wants to go to Green Bay, a third-round pick alone is probably too much for him, because I don't know if anyone's seen his upcoming cap hits, damn near 40 per year. So to keep Davante, you not only have to keep him like emotionally, but financially as well, as we're getting cooked alive right now by the Chiefs. The Seahawks, playing like the damn Chiefs. 28-10, this is unbelievable, but it's not over. Now it might be. Still got a chance down 14. Got to drive down, clutch fourth down conversions. You got to score a touchdown, and they're just about going to do it. Only 3 minutes left. The defense got to make a play, and they do. The offense got a chance. I'm over here yapping. I mean, the clock is running. I think they could do this. I worry about the clock, though. I really do. Do I trust an early throw here? Davante. That's my man right there. Down to the 4-yard line. This is unbelievable, though. Like, this is a really solid comeback. Maybe Reed's our guy. I really like the run here. Like, that guy's not even looking at the right direction. And maybe we shouldn't have juke moved down to the 2. Pretty iffy decision there. We'll say, though, the slot receiver could have been there, and they weren't. Tucker Kraft, there's nobody directly on him, so if that safety doesn't jump it. Oh, and it drops off his hands. What are you doing, Tucker? Double drag with the running back coming out the backfield. I like this. I'm just going to throw this to the flat if it's there. And we're not even going to get that throw off. Oh, my God. From the 2-yard line. Should have let the AI do it. 3 straight plays of nothing. Somebody get open, please. Who else? Who else but Davante? I mean, we've been really inconsistent here at this goal line. I'm just going to let them kick the extra point and head to overtime. I've learned my Okay. That works, too. That's great. We're headed to the Super Bowl. Okay. 2-point conversion to Luke Musgrave, of all players, to head to the Super Bowl. That's great. That's fantastic. Look at these 2 wide receivers cooking up. Is that Tucker Kraft as well? No, Shakir. I don't know why I read Tucker Kraft. Van Ness, 1 sack. He sacked his former team, but unfortunately for him, we are on the come up, the up and up. We're in the Super Bowl. I was willing to just go to overtime. I can't believe they went for it and they got it. I would have been so devastated if they didn't. That works out for me. We got the Ravens taking on the Ravens. Let's see who they had to beat to get here other than the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are kind of the cream of the crop, so it probably doesn't matter, but let's see what they had. So they had the Chiefs by 8. They had the Jets by only 7. And then I would imagine they had the bye week, right? They did. But here we are, Super Bowl. Let's take a look at our potential dev-ups before anything. Jordan Love is an X Factor. Jaden Reed is an X Factor. Nice dev-ups there. 93 overall for the league's MVP. A lot of XP on top of it, obviously. X Factor, not bad. Jaden Reed, now an 89 overall. That 3-year deal looks stupid. Should have done a 5-year. But hey, we'll take it. On the contract for, another couple of seasons. Defensively, anything going on? Zimmerman still goes up. Okay, we'll take that. He's still a star dev guy. That's a nice little glow up. Would have been nice to see Adebo with his, 4 interceptions get a dev up because he's on the team for another year, but that's fine. The team looks good. All right, here we are for all the marbles. Can the Packers win another Super Bowl? It's been a while. Going to the end of the game, I can't see the score. This is fantastic. We'll say I feel pretty good about us being in the lead. I can't see the score at all. Awesome. I'm out here for nothing as well because I can't really do anything here. Is Quandre Diggs playing here in the slot? Not the slot, in the box. He's breaking off every tackle. It'd be lovely to see the score. It'd be pretty cool. Shows in the stadium, yeah, it did feel like we were in the lead with a takeaway. We're up by 10 right now. Don't know what the score is going to be here. Oh, it fixed. There we go. 17-7, 24-7, 31-7. I don't see how the Ravens could come back. We get even more points in the second half, and wow, what a dominating performance. 37-14. The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. I mean, it did feel like a team that maybe, just missing a couple pieces here and there, but for the most part, we got like an 85 overall at basically every position or higher. And we got enough competing pieces. I think it's weird because it's kind of how the not even weird, but fitting. It's kind of how the Packers are built in real life, right? A lot of positions, they have one pretty damn good player, and then the rest isn't so good. You got a cornerstone corner if he's actually healthy, cornerstone safety. Edgerrin Cooper looks really good. Could be a franchise linebacker. But it's like the players around them, maybe not the safety position so much, but corner, not so great. Coverage linebackers, not so great. D-line, you got Gary, I suppose, but everything else is average at best. And we were able to fill in some of those positions, right? Trading for Davante. Paulson Adebo is a serviceable corner too, and all that good stuff. Nolan's a solid DT. Lamar Jackson, limited hard through 2 picks. Love, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. What a damn performance. That's one of the best Super Bowl performances ever. Devonte, what a game. Reed, they both combined for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Let them cook. Devonte worth every penny. Unfortunately, though, it kind of looks like he might be on his way out. If he regresses really hard, too, and we don't want to pay him, I mean, would you not argue for him to just retire a Super Bowl champion? Looks very planned, looks very solid. But hey, maybe even straight up retires because he'll be 34 now, and we've seen 34-year-olds retire many times. I think it would be perfectly fitting. It would be really cool. It should even, in my opinion, have a, especially if they don't have a long-term contract, they're on a contract year, there should be like a scenario in-game that actually does that. Matthew Stafford retires. McManus retires, so there's no question even about that. A couple of mentor types as well. But yeah, we are going to be moving on to the offseason here where we don't really have much money, and Devonte Adams and Elgton Jenkins are on the list. Also, Jacobs is going to be regressing soon, so that's why we got him on this coordinator talk. Elgton Jenkins, negotiations. We already have this money tied up, actually, so we're actually not as screwed as I thought. Davante, 84 overall, man. I'm just sorry. I can't do that. I just cannot do that. Did Quandre go to Superstar, by the way? He's a Superstar. I don't know if he went to it or not, but did the money drop for Elgton? $16 million? I mean, I'm willing to do a $19 million deal here. Really? After a Super Bowl win? Okay, see you later, I guess. Davante is unfortunately also regressed pretty hard. Maybe there's a free agent. I mean, we should be able to just about afford a $30 million guy, or not. Apparently, we have $16 million after not even getting him. Rashee Rice would be insane. But yeah, I think we're just going to invest in a wide receiver in the draft. I think that's just going to be the plan. Scouted him, the wide receiver position. The position. Wow, look at Cameron Hayward at 38 still here. But scouted the position in our focus. So we know basically everything about every wide receiver. But of course, with winning the Super Bowl comes the downside of being the 32nd pick. We have a couple of wide receivers here. I really like Harper because of the size, but we have 2 that I like. Harper, maybe your Mike Evans type, and then McKnight's more of a standard prototypical wide receiver build. So I'm really just going to do what I usually do, which is move down until one of them's gone, and then hopefully we're not looking too much higher than pick 20-ish, and we trade up for whoever's there. This is a really tough trade to pull off. We only moving from 32 to 23. It cost me a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 decent players like Evan Williams to make the play happen, and we finally get to that spot. Harper, another tall guy to the Atlanta Falcons, and now we have Malcolm McKnight hoping for Hidden Dev, expecting normal. True Talent 40 with Hidden Dev. Okay, good pick. Got ourselves another prototypical sized Green Bay Packers receiver. Problem is now, I mean, our next draft pick after this second round pick is all the way in the 6th round. So definitely a little concerning there. Defensive tackle. I scouted a guy further. He was truly a 3-4, which is disappointing to say the least. I really don't want to run Kenny Clark another season, but I don't know if I have much of a choice. Offensive line, I think we're fine on. Do I go Kyrie Davison? He could still be Hidden Dev. It just doesn't look promising with 3-4. I'm taking the chance that he's just hitting even if he's a lower overall. 84 true. And that's exactly what we get. That's clutch. That is clutch. We're also going to be trading off Kenny Clark for a high 4th-round pick from the Browns, which we're going to slow sim it and potentially take a lineman with a trade up. We trade a 4th, a 6th this, a 6th, and a 7th next year to move up like 10 spots to land a lineman. We should have one lineman still there. We do. Mr. Cedric Trent kind of locked in as a center, but looks good enough to take the chance on. True talent 80. That sucks. Now, we move all the way to 32 in the 7th round, where we're likely going to be taking a kicker. I'm not sure why I forgot to look at the players, right? I'm pretty sure we forgot to look at the actual guys we gained. But yeah, Malcolm McKnight, I mean, he just looks like, another prototypical wide receiver that Green Bay would be taking. Can we get higher than star? That'd be great. We can't. Oof, that's unfortunate. Kind of like in something like... I really like these numbers, actually. I guess a single digit. Number 1's pretty cool. Then we look at the defensive side of the ball, where Davison will be the new number 2. Nolan, the 84 overall, is going to be our number 1 starter. I worry about the money again, but, we've been kind of letting some linemen go here and there. That should hopefully help curve that a little bit. Dev for Davison is star, but once again, high potential as a rookie. Just won a Super Bowl. The team definitely took a little bit of a hit, but we did pretty well to once again kind of secure the future a bit. Having a pretty good year, but we're about to have a pretty bad time. $116 million. Obviously, Cooper gets the contract. I don't want to lose McKinney, but I don't know if I want to do a 4-year. Gary actually kind of developed a little bit higher than I would have thought he would have. Jacobs, I'll do a 1-year. I'm not doing any higher than that. And then Adebo has been basically a long-term 1-year, $9 million deal for us kind of guy. Bullard likely, not even likely, he gets the contract. Quay does not get the contract. Morgan does not get the contract, I don't think. And then we save the rest of our money when we have to pay even more players like Nolan in the future. But starting with the priority, because of their interest, 5-year 59 for Edgerrin Cooper. Then we have Mr. Jacobs. Hopefully he does a 1-year deal. I would love to just keep him on a 1-year 12. Oh, I can't do it, dude. The drop-off is too hard. But, I mean, if we lose Jacobs, this thing collapses immediately, no? So, I'm not really sure what I do with that. McKinney, I mean, I'm hoping he just does a 2-year deal. 2-year 42. Nice. We'll take it. $64 million left. If Gary has another double-digit season, I've got to keep him. 29 years old, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, he's having another year. He might even have his best year to this point. So, we'll do a 2-year 44. I think 2 years fine. Hopefully he goes up rather than down. Edge usually doesn't worry. You don't worry till 32 in the game. Jacobs, man, even 1 more year's going to be regressed probably to an 88, 89, Adebo, I can't believe we've kept him this long. I was expecting to be a 1-year bridge type. He's been our corner, too, for a long time now. Quay is gone. Morgan, I mean, he actually is halfway decent. If I can drop this a year, I'll do it. I don't know. We'll see. O-line's not really been too hard to get for us. We'll maybe update that down the line. Having a really, really good season again. Could be another bye week as well. Let's see if we can go for the 2-peat potentially. Be really surprised if we don't get the bye week here. And yeah, 14-3 as well. I mean, this has gone great. This has gone really well. Jacobs still at the top of his game. We gave him a 1-year 14. He ended up taking it. Jordan Morgan, 2-year 28. So we paid a little bit more to lessen the years so we weren't locked in. I mean, I think it works out for both parties for the most part. Let's take a look. Maybe not Jordan Morgan in real life. Even an 83 overall star at 26 is worth probably 15 plus per year, over 4 plus. Jordan Love, solid. Less picks, but also less yards and touchdowns. Maybe not yards, but touchdowns. Jacobs, unbelievable year again. Wicks, since when? McKnight is our number 2 and our wide receiver 1 slot. What do you mean? I mean, I'll take it because Wicks on a 2-year deal, but it's kind of a wasted year for McKnight. Damn, if that was all to McKnight, that would have been great. Nolan hopefully goes up in dev. Gary had a terrible finish of the year, though, by the way. 1.5 sacks through 8 games is crazy bad. Garfield also didn't have a great year. A little bit of a disappointing one at certain aspects, but the special teams have been unbelievable, especially for that rookie. MVP goes to Hurts. anything for us. McKnight still wins Rookie of the Year. That's huge. Davison, no. Number 2 would have been awesome. Love it. Number 2 for QB. Jacobs, number 2 for running back. Wixon, number 3 for wide receiver. Zach Tom is a superstar. We'll take that for sure. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, we'll take that. A couple of DevUps guaranteed for free. After the bye week, though, let's see who we face in the divisional round. It is the Rams. 9-8 Rams. We have 6 overalls up on them. One thing I did notice, however, is that they have Devonte Adams. Definitely an interesting name drop after, last couple seasons we had him and we won a Super Bowl with him. Kind of just couldn't afford him. 17-0. Really good defensive performance so far. Up by 10. Head of the championship round, potentially really clutch drive there after, kind of stagnating for the majority of the game, honestly, let alone the third quarter. Let's take a look at the quarterback numbers. Carlos Dunlap, what a name drop. The edge rusher, I guess. He's built like a damn edge rusher, 6'5", 232. Jordan Love played a little bit better than him, though, especially with that completion percentage. Jacobs, 3.1 yards per carry. Receivers, Chenault, what a name drop there. McKnight and Reed were decent. Ursery gave up 3 sacks. Garfield and Husky, I guess a couple of DB rushers. Pick for Jair Alexander. As we're now moving on to the championship round for, is this the 3rd straight year, actually, technically? Not even technically, just like literally, technically, physically, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. It's all true. Like, we made it the first year, I'm pretty sure, right? Either way. The Lions. Okay, this is a team that actually has us beaten overall as well. This is an ultra titan of a matchup. The back-to-back on the line. The Lions already scored a touchdown. We got a huge touchdown, likely from Jacobs. 7-7 still, both back and forth. We look a little bit better in offense, but we're not scoring anyways. Second half, we get a touchdown. They get a touchdown right away. Detroit Lions up by 3. It's a tie game. We have a field goal lead. And we're going to win by 6. What a close game. So weird how streaky that game was. Early on, touchdown for us, touchdown for them right after. Nothing. Couple field goals, touchdown for us, touchdown for them. It's just like so weird. Both quarterbacks equally mid, if you will. Oops, wrong thing. Running game, Jacobs was great with that 80-yarder, but not really much consistency outside of that. St. Brown, really good stuff. Williams, a lot of catches. McKnight was decent. Reed was solid. Looking at the pass rush, Gary with 3 sacks. Not really much consistency here, right? It's been like one guy goes off. Jair, there's been some consistency, another pick. But yeah, we had one guy do really well, and nobody else did anything. And the game before that, one guy did really well, nobody else did anything. So not a whole lot of teamwork going on that pass rush, but the team working towards winning another Super Bowl. Let's take a look who it is. It is the Chiefs, okay. I mean, we beat the Ravens, so I'm not saying the Chiefs are better or worse than the Ravens, but it's an equally tough team, I suppose. Let's take a look at our, kind of win-loss situation. They beat the Titans? Really? That scheme, man, it's so random. They win by 11 over the Titans. They beat the Jets by 19, and then one would assume a bye week is what they had, which they did. So number 1 seed versus number 1 seed. We have a higher overall team than them. We beat them in the regular season. What else do you want, McKnight goes a superstar as expected, 82 overall. Defensively, Davison goes a superstar. Is that true? Why is that? Superstar Dev. Oh, he won rookie. He won rookie of the. Oh, he did win rookie of the year, didn't he? Did he? P? I swear he fell short. Am I wrong? Oh, damn it! Not weekly awards. I swear he fell short. Yeah, he was number 2. Unless they gave it for number. They tied. I don't know, but I'll take it. Their error is my win. Also, did Zach Tom go up in Dev? He was best O-line, right? Kind of glanced over that, but wow. 91 overall superstar lineman. What a goon. No ability slots, but goon nonetheless. Here we go. Chance at a really successful Super Bowl run here. Back-to-back it would be against the latest kind of back-to-back team. 14-14, 21-14. Halftime score of 7-point lead. Up by 14 here. Looking pretty strong, and unless the Chiefs make a comeback, which they won't, Green Bay is going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. I am surprised. Don't get me wrong, you got the quarterback, you got some pretty good players here, but I am just a little surprised at this kind of success. Don't need to see the celebration or anything like that because we've already seen it. Jordan Love outperforms Mahomes. This truly would be a dream scenario. Jaden Reed, 13 catches, 191 yards on a long of 27. Wow. That's just impressive. McKnight had a great game. Finally, we just talked about how, it's one or the other. This time it was actually two, each on the edge. Pick for McKinney, pick for Bolton. They missed a kick. I mean, to have this kind of rebuild and, manage the team pretty well contractually, I mean, this has gone almost flawlessly. It really has. Of course, for the scheme, Buffalo defense is going to be your standard, but we rock the Packers offense, which, we know it to be a top 5 offense in the game for the most part, but still, kind of rocked with the base stuff. Meant to look at the win-loss there, and I just didn't do it. Regardless, back-to-back Super Bowls. Can we actually get a 3-peat? That'd be unbelievable, but we'll at least try for the 3-peat and then probably call it there, as there's not really much more you can do. All right, negotiations. I think we've taken care of everything, too. I mean, Quay's going to be gone, unfortunately, but, that's just too costly, So what can you do there? You could also argue that we're going to maybe even have a better team going forward because we're going to be looking at a more balanced coverage linebacker and probably, an equally or better running back backup. 25 mil, there's almost zero chance we spend anything here. Gibbs, cool, really good price too, but just, we can't do it right now. We just can't do it. Terrion Arnold, man, all these Lions players, that's brutal. I mean, like realistically here, this is all Lions. I've never seen this. Because remember, they signed Trey Smith. That is 5 Lions players, 88 plus, that they just lost in one offseason. Like, part of me wants to, stick it to them and sign one of these guys, but I just think the smartest way to keep this team going is to avoid these expensive free agent signings. It's so hard not to go Gibbs, though. Like, it really is. I mean, can we actually give the Cardinals a run for their money? I mean, imagine Gibbs and Jacobs in the same backfield. This is literally what, us Packers fans thought we were getting with Jones and Jacobs for a moment. Jacobs is going to be dead soon, in the NFL world. Gibbs, 5-year deal, 85 mil, with the best running back backfield, I wouldn't say ever assembled, because there's been some great ones, but in modern history by quite a bit. And Jacobs is still a 90 overall, dude. Oh my God. Obviously, we're going to let him go after this season. He's barely even usable with that speed, I will say. But yeah, he's still a 90 overall technically. But yeah, this is a sick-looking team. 290-plus overall running backs is unheard. Well, I'm going to say unheard of, but it's absurd. But I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm going to have Gibbs at both backup spots, I think. And if Jacobs is still playing like he was, because you got to remember, Jacobs was like the number 1 running back in the last 2 seasons, I'm pretty sure. I got to start him for that aspect alone. But yeah, obviously, Gibbs is really hard to not start as well. So we'll kind of play it by ear, what happens there, what happens. As far as what we want to do, we got to be thinking about the future. This is why I went Gibbs. This isn't really about this season, trying to build something for this season, try to get that 3-peat, even though in real life it would be a huge help. It's about thinking about the future. Also, Jordan Love is being paid $74 million this year, and we could afford this team. That means that our team's even cheaper than we thought, right? Because we're obviously going to have to pay Love a lot less. I know we do have to pay Nolan and then Jair again if we want him, but this draft class is gonna be all about future proofing, so it's really gonna be nothing to help us now, but more the future. So corner, I think, because of Debo. Lineman, I think, because of Kreutz. DT, maybe, because of Nolan, if we can't afford him. But I mean, I think we're fine. We're like this team, I don't know how, but we've just made it work. All right, we're in the draft again. We have pick 32. Some of the biggest positional needs are definitely linebacker. Rathman looks pretty good as a middle linebacker. Corner for the future, but not right now, technically. But Newkirk does look solid. 6'3", 21, good man in zone, fast enough, elite jumping. We'll probably go to like 22 in the first round. If Newkirk's there, we'll make a trade up. If not, we'll move down. This is a very hefty trade. I really wanted to keep that second-round pick to land a middle linebacker. We end up trading off a first, a third, a fourth, a fifth this year, with a fourth and a fifth next year to move up to 23 to grab that corner. We're future-proofing here there's a chance we lose Jair and a Debo, but we're definitely going to be passing on a Debo when re-signings happen. But I've said that for how many seasons now? Daryl Newkirk, I'm really worried about normal dev here. 75 normal, that's my guess. 5 true. Normal dev. Yeah, I mean, he had it written all over. I've seen a couple of drafts this Madden. I've seen a few players here and there. But yeah, like we said, we are now into the next round where basically the last draft pick is going to happen for us. I don't really love the speed, but he's a 1-2. Weird finesse. Man, I don't know if I actually want him anymore. I like the 1-2, but I did not expect him to be that slow. I saw that, the 40 times and all that. I don't know, dude. I get he's 1-2, but that doesn't prove anything. Could be a 73 overall normal. That's literally what 1-2 could be. Whereas, this 2-3 could be a 71 overall hidden. So it's those intangible ratings like the speed that does matter a lot. But I also don't think a trade down even to like 10 or 15 is going to get me anywhere. So for the first time in a while, instead of doing the trade down and then trade back up when, the final player that I'm willing to take goes, I might just get a little more aggressive and just take whoever I think is the best linebacker of this bunch right now. And the worst thing is I think Fowler might be the best of the bunch. But I've just had such bad luck with outside linebackers. Whatever, though, I'm going to take the chance on them. 58 true. Normal, man. So athletic, though. But, yeah. I've just had such bad luck with outside linebackers. We'll have to take a look at the guy we could have had. But, whatever happens, happens. We went with it and traded off pretty much our entire draft for like 2 players. 2 normal dev players, mind you. 77, so a bit higher than that 75 we were talking about, though. I mean, he's a good corner, too, right? He'll be a good corner, too, in the future. And then we have the outside linebacker, Fowler, 73 normal. Remember when we were just talking about that? That's what we get here. Fowler's our new right outside linebacker. Let's take a look at how dumb of a decision it was passing on that guy. And here he is, 75 overall Rathman. And he was in dev. Nice. Glad to pass on him. Can't wait for him to be like a superstar watch. He is thankfully only star, so I don't hate that. You argue, our guy's more athletic, which I don't even know if he actually is. Yeah, he is more athletic. So, I mean, you argue our guy is better if he gets one single dev up, Here we are for the 4th and final season. We're going to have a Jacob still the number 1 spot because he's just been killing it. But if he shows any signs of slowing, Gibbs might take over. We do have Gibbs as the number 1 for both of the backup spots, so we'll see what happens there. Reed as a 92 overall X Factor is great. McKnight 83 might get to an 88 plus by the end of the year. O-line solid. You got 2 superstar tackles. Linebacker. Where the hell is Fowler? I literally just put him in here. There's got to be some auto reorder going on. But yeah, glad we went with Newkirk because Alexander is also down to an 89. Adebo 87. So we're going to need some new corners. Maybe we just rock Newkirk and Husky. Husky's still probably really young. Probably like 24 right now. Maybe 25 at best. So, he still has a chance to develop, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy to think, but he does, right? Was he 24? 24 is an 80 overall. That's not bad. It's not terrible. But here we are, final season. Can we go 3-peat? Well, let's see what kind of money we got to pay out. Obviously, Jordan Love's going to want a lot. 5-year 308, which comes out to a little over 62. Hopefully this will work. Why is he not happy? Income tax, big market. Yeah, I mean, okay, we're going to have to overpay the hell out of him. Zach Tom's a lot. Walter Nolan for sure. 7-year 196. Damn, 70 million left to pay some pretty big names. Wicks, Adebo. It's not terrible. I mean, Husky, I think the price is right to do a 6-year deal. Honestly, 6-year 30. That is a steal. Even if he is just slot forever, that's still a really good contract. Future, you got to pay Garfield. Definitely need to draft a replacement for Gary after this season. But you definitely let Jacobs and Alexander go, I think. Definitely Jacobs, at least. He'd be 84, 85 overall at best. Wicks, I don't think you need a number 3, even though he's played well for us. Zach Tom, he is just who he is. You got to pay him. You have 42 mil, so we actually aren't really that bad off. Yeah, we are replacing some players. We're going to even keep Kreutz here. 27 million left. Let's say we spend that 7 on Jordan Love. We still have 20 million to, potentially keep Alexander, Adebo, or Wicks. It's not bad. Honestly, if Wicks is willing to do a 2-year 18, I'm down. Another 2-year deal, I'm down. So 18 mil left. We'll put more money into Love and then probably let the rest walk, which we already have a running back replacement. We already have a cornerback replacement, arguably 2 cornerback replacements. The team's in a great spot. This is a killer rebuild. All right, to the playoffs, 13-4, not good enough for the bye week this time. The Rams actually steal that spot. The 10-7 Lions are coming to town. The Jordan Love season, a little bit worse than we're used to, but still good. Put Gibbs at every backup spot, and we ended up with 32 total rushing touchdowns. Gibbs obviously being wasted here, not quite the quote-unquote backup situation that he is in Detroit, but not a bad, little send-off, if you will, for Jacobs into Gibbs going forward. McKnight could go to X Factor with those touchdowns. Reed was solid. Touchdowns weren't. Wicks, solid. Touchdowns weren't. Kraft, one of his best seasons yet, which is pretty good because this scheme really hasn't done a whole lot for him. Defensively, a lot of sack numbers. 15 for Gary, 13 for Davison, 10 for Garfield, 9 for Nolan. Great. Awesome numbers. Picks, modest. Kicking worse than last year. Wheelan, a little worse than last year. Let's take a look at yearly awards. Mahomes wins MVP. We are not on the AFC side. Any award wins. Didn't win Rookie of the Year with Fowler. That's painful. Stupid Vikings. Couple of close calls, but not quite winning anything. As we are aiming for a three-peat. Is this actually possible? We'll find out. Here we go. Going to the end of the game. 3-0. Holding strong. 10-0. 10-7. 17-7, 24-7, 31-7, 31-14, 38-14. Way more convincing win this time around, as we, basically had ourselves a little bye week anyways in the wild card round. 45-14. That's crazy. That would be, definitely something. Jordan Love, unbelievable game there. Jacobs, solid. Reed, McKnight. I almost wanted to put Gibbs as the starter against his former team. Pass rush was great. Picks. Newkirk got involved. Sweet. He's warming himself up for stealing that that job. I was about to say roll and job and got Rob. All right, to the divisional. See what kind of tough team we have to face this time. The Giants. All right, the toughest of teams. Here we go. Giants with a huge start. 10-0 start. 10-7. Packers kind of climbing back a little bit. 14-10 at halftime. Here we go. Okay, there we go. There. Okay. That's quite enough. Oh, that'll be fine. Thank you. 56-13 after a 10-0 start. Wow, that is resilience. One pick from Jordan Love, but 6 touchdowns. Rushing numbers are a little modest, but Gibbs killed it. I guess we had 2 rushing touchdowns. McKnight, 3 touchdowns, 227 yards. Wow. Wicks got involved. I really do like this kind of committee kind of situation. Zimmerman with a pick. Debo with a pick. Kicking was clean. To the championship round, though. And it's going to be the Bears. I mean, barring the Vikings there in the early rounds, would have been the whole damn freaking division. Here we go. Chance at the three-peat. The Bears are the only team standing in our way. 10-7. 17-7. Okay. 24-7, 24-14, 24-21. Nice comeback. Safety, 5-point game. Green Bay gets the lead. It's a 1-point game. It's a 7-point game. At best, you're looking like an overtime situation here. They get a huge touchdown on 3rd and long. Got to get a stop. They do. There's no way this team's actually making yet another comeback, right? And they do. 37-34. Unbelievable. That is... what a game by the Bears there, but I genuinely can't believe this team came back from 24-7. Wow. Unbelievable. Jordan Love and Caleb had themselves a battle. Run game was really weak, especially from Gibbs. 12 for 16. Horrible. Kraft, great game. Best game we've seen from him. McKnight, really good. 3 touchdowns. Sacks. Garfield with 2.5. 1 pick for Jalen Johnson. And a missed kick. It was blocked, but a missed kick from our kicker. Almost cost the entire thing. I actually can't believe how well this rebuild's gone. Might have to start just putting Green Bay's playbook as the baseline going forward for every rebuild. It's not quite the Chiefs, but it's really up there. The Chargers. How fitting that the rebuild I was going to do is the team standing in our way of a three-peat. Offensive dev-ups, none for McKnight. It kind of sucks. Tucker Kraft's a 90 overall. This team really developed well. Fowler got to star, and no one else went up in dev, but that's fine. That's fine. We really just need to Fowler the most to get that dev up. Here it is for all the marbles. 94 versus the 88 overall Chargers. But speaking of the Chargers, who do you guys think we should take in the first round for that rebuild? Wide receiver, IDL, a couple of positions, maybe edge. You got Bosa, regressing really hard, maybe even remove him from the team. Mack regressing hard into potential retirement. Tuipulotu probably be your starter on the edge, maybe. Here comes the Chargers. And no, we're going to win the three-peat. Wow. Have we done that this Madden? Of all the teams to do it for, it's the Packers, too. Wow. That is impressive. Okay. I mean, there was no special treatment here, right? The only special treatment is Devonte Adams, which we only won one Super Bowl with him anyways. We actually were arguably better when he left. So, yeah. This is a special rebuild, and it just happens to be the Packers. I'll take it. Once again, I'll show you guys, we didn't do anything special here. We just had a three-peat rebuild with the Green Bay Packers in 4 seasons. 4 championship rounds, 3 Super Bowls. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I guess it's now time, as we are exiting this thing, to take a look at the team. I guess we'll take a look at the real-life Packer O-lineman, Jordan Morgan, 86 overall, really good pass blocker, could play tackle. I know, kind of drafted as that hybrid, maybe even is a tackle down the line, left tackle perhaps. Zach Tom, unbelievable numbers there, just irreplaceable. He's like, what do you do? Who do you replace him for? So 3 or 75, not even that bad, honestly, for a franchise tackle. Tucker Kraft, really athletic, great route running, catching's great, breaking tackles is solid. His drops pass trait could be part of the reason why he dropped that one, which, I mean, it wasn't that easy of a catch. McKnight got to an 89. We thought 88, even better than that. Ridiculous route running, catching, release. Just a true wide receiver 1 playing number 2. So, I mean, this team's got themselves some receivers. Jaden Reed, honestly, for a while there, I was thinking 90, 91 was his ceiling. Got to a 93 and still has time to develop even further. Really good wide receiver. You basically have 2 of the same types of guys. A little bit taller from McKnight, but same kind of builds. Jacobs, I do want to see that regression, but we'll see in a moment. Jordan Love, look at those numbers. I mean, those ratings are unbelievable. If he ever gets to that in real life, Green Bay probably will win a couple of Super Bowls with him, but that is still yet to be determined. Offensive line solved. Don't want to look at Jacobs. I meant to say I want to sim a week and see where he's at, see if that decision to go Gibbs prematurely was smart, which I think it is. I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious. Javon Bullard, usually see that regression, randomness from safety midway through, their careers. Maybe he did have that, but if he did, he definitely made up for it with just being good. I want to go McKinney. They kind of switch him over to Zimmerman, so I guess we'll take a look at Zimmerman. Great block shed. The outside linebackers are usually almost always going to be that block shed type. I think Fowler might have actually been the opposite, though, the coverage guy. Really good coverage ratings. I wish, like I said, I think they should do it where for certain positions that it just takes like 2 of the archetype, 1 of the not. Or just allow you to set the archetypes because it just takes way too long to develop. If you get, let's say, 50 upgrades per season and you're doing multiple seasons, as quickly as possible, I mean, you're talking like 20 minutes of upgrading minimum per season, maybe more. Like, it takes that long. McKinney, not the fastest, but coverage is ridiculous. Let's take a look now at, I guess I'll look at Adebo. I don't really need to look at Jair because he's lower overall than he started, but Adebo, great zone corner with just enough man coverage to get the job done. Let's take a look now at the interior of the line where we definitely, yes, not interior, it's not a 3-4 anymore. Take a look at the D-line itself. Garfield, 98 power move, really good player, obviously. Starting to get into that double-digit consistency. Look at the other side. Gary, did not think we'd ever get him to an 88, 89, but he got back up there to being, a pretty damn good edge rusher. I was really thinking about replacing him, so I guess you could have replaced Van Ness early on, but realistically, if I was going to draft a first-round edge rusher, I probably would have been replacing Gary. So glad we decided to not go that route in the first draft. Nolan obviously turned out to be a great, great player. Little surprised that he's still star dev, but yeah, he is very good. And then Davison, 89 overall, super glow up, super young. This team's sorted. It really is. I do want to see, once again, though, one sim. I want to see what Jacobs' overall is. What is he, at 91 right now? I'm expecting major drop-off, right? I'm expecting 85. I'm expecting 85 overall if I had to guess, which, of course, isn't terrible, but for an 86 speed guy, maybe even lower once that regression does hit, glad to go Gibbs. That's all I can say. You have another Jacobs-worthy player that'll be here for another 3 seasons, maybe 4, just like Jacobs. As far as Jacobs goes, even further, wow, 83 overall is a ridiculous drop-off. Another 3 speed, I believe. Yeah, unbelievable there. 3 Super Bowl wins. Retires a great player. Well, maybe not retire, backup guy, but solid career with those touchdowns. And that is pretty much going to be it for our Green Bay Packers realistic style rebuild outside of the Devonte Adams thing, which, once again, in Madden isn't realistic, but in real life, we actually overtraded, right? Christian Watson, a 3rd-round pick for Devonte Adams, who just went for a regular 3rd-round pick, midway through the season, I think is easily fair. And once again, if not, we overtraded. Like I said, though, if you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, JeromepkR. Second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. Maybe we'll have Indiana Jones up tomorrow, the ending, the final episode. I'm going to need some suggestions for games to play over there. Maybe I'll have a community tab today mentioning the members-only rebuild that we posted yesterday on top of, needing some team game suggestions. And then speaking of team suggestions, probably going to be the Chargers rebuild this weekend, but not 100% sure. Let me know what team you want to see next, what kind of challenge rebuild you want to see next. I've seen a couple suggestions for different challenge rebuild ideas that we'll probably end up doing in the near future. So if you don't see a rebuild on your idea right away, it doesn't mean it won't happen. It might just mean that it's going to be, one of the future ones. Regardless, though, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. Not sure if there will be a main channel one tomorrow, but there will be on the weekend if not. But until next video, see ya. And as usual, thanks to all the members of the channel. Appreciate you all a ton. Also, brand new member John Parisi. Appreciate you a ton. And we had our monthly members rebuild yesterday, so check that out if you haven't already. Maybe click the join button if you're not a member and you want to see that amongst some other members-only content we've had so far. Regardless, member or not, appreciate y'all watching, and see ya.